April 15th is tax day, and it's getting harder each year. That's what I'd like to talk about, because it's not just your feeling that it's getting harder, it really is. In the year 2000, the average American household, whether one or two or three or four people, the average household made a total of $42,000 a year. And the average amount of federal spending per household, which they were supporting, was $30,000 a year. So it was 42 and 30. Now household income has gone up to 49, but federal spending has gone up to 50. So in other words, whereas before we were making a quarter more in income than the feds were spending, now we're making less each year than the federal government is spending. So more and more and more of your take-home pay, of your non-take-home pay, of your gross pay, is going for taxes. It isn't just your imagination, it's absolutely true. Now that statistic is a little distorted because a certain amount, about 40% of the federal spending per household, actually goes to the household and is part of their income. That wasn't as much the case in 2000, but we've become so much more dependent on federal entitlement spending. But the basic point is that taxes and the size of the federal government have gone up enormously. Sometimes we make a mistake when we talk about the Obama spending levels, and we give the impression that it's simply that we don't want to pay more taxes. But the fact of the matter is that when Obama took office, the government was only about a third of the economy. Now it's more than 40% of the economy. And that really is the step before socialism. And Obama has now made a proposal that is absolutely breathtaking in how wrong-headed it is. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. He is saying that IRAs, your retirement accounts, cannot be more than $3 million. And after that, you won't be able to take it with avoiding taxes and paying the taxes when you pull the money out as an old person. How dumb is that? First of all, he said that the reason is that $200,000 a year should be enough for anyone to retire on. Well, I'm not sure that he'll retire on that, and I'm not sure it's that easy. But the point is, we want people to save more money. The more money we save, the more money can be invested. The more money you put in the bank and you don't spend, the more money the bank has to lend to a private company. And the more loans the private company gets, the more equipment and machinery it can make. And the more equipment and machinery that it buys, the more productive the worker is. And the more productive he is, the more wages go up. That's the only way that wages go up. Just take a simple example. If a guy is digging a ditch and you're paying him a certain amount an hour, and all of a sudden you give him with hands, and then all of a sudden you give him a shovel, well, he can dig 10 times as much. So you can afford to pay him more. And if you give him a steam shovel, so he can take out 100 times the dirt, you can afford to pay him even more, because you're being paid based on the amount of dirt that he scoops out. So where do you get the money for the tractor, for steam shovel? You get it from a loan from the bank. Where does the bank get the money? It gets it from money somebody else invested. So in saying we're going to lower investments, what you're really doing is saying we're going to lower productivity and we're not going to let wages go up. The stupidest thing you can imagine. Has this guy ever taken economics? And then, of course, there's the really chilling story that came out this week. The American Civil Liberties Union, which is often a pain in the neck but sometimes serves a real purpose, sued under the Freedom of Information Act and got the manual for the IRS. And it specifically says that IRS agents can feel totally free to invade anybody's email and read anything they want without a court warrant, without a subpoena, without even telling the court that they're doing it. And they don't have to have probable cause. They can just go skimming around and seeing what they like. An absolute outrageous violation of our privacy. By the way, while our taxes are going up, President Obama has a neat deal. He only paid 18.5% of his income in taxes, and yet he wants everyone who makes more than $1 million to pay 30%, but he gets away with paying 18%. And Michelle, who complained recently that she is like a single mother, compared herself to that. What a laugh. Michelle Obama's White House budget for staff and other expenses in the White House is $13 million a year. Some single mother, she has a little bit of help. Now, I want to tell everybody there's going to be a big change in my life coming up. Every day, starting today, from 2 o'clock until 6 o'clock Eastern Time, I'm going to be on the radio doing a talk show. Now, the radio is in Philadelphia. It's the CBS affiliate, WPHT, which is 1210 AM. But if you live outside of the Philadelphia region, you can still listen to me by going to dickmorris.com, and we'll have a link there. You can click on it, and you can listen to the whole show. I'm very excited about going to radio as opposed to TV, because on TV I have to give everything in 4 and 5 minute sound bites. And even here I can't go on and on and on because you have a life to live. But on radio, I can, and I will. And we'll be talking about all these issues in depth, and I hope you like it. So come on, tune in, join me. And by the way, call me. We'll give you the phone number on the air, but you can be listening to me anywhere, and call me from there, and I'll be very happy to take your call.